Hello and welcome to the second unit of week 1. My name is Stefan Resak and I will be your instructor for the rest of the week. In this unit, I would like to provide you with an overview of the functional scope and the business scenarios we offer for companies dealing with tangible inventory managed products. As Rainer already mentioned in Unit 1, SAP Business by Design is a suite in a box, and the major building blocks of the solution are depicted here. When we talk about supply chain businesses, in this course, we want to consider the complete end-to-end processes and all the functional modules needed. Besides the pure supply chain related modules, we will therefore also consider the relevant aspects of sales, purchasing, financials, and so forth. We will also have a look at processes like field service and repair. Finally, we will cover some aspects on how to extend the solution to customer-specific needs to complete the picture. Let's have a closer look at the solution scope for supply chain management. First, it can be described from an end-to-end business scenario perspective. Overall, we offer 36 of these end-to-end scenarios. You can find an overview of all business scenarios in the official help documents. So what is a business scenario? It can be defined independently of any software system and describes all the steps or processes needed to fulfill a business need. Normally, multiple employees and departments of an organization are involved, and not all the steps might be executed in the same software system. Some steps might even be executed outside a system. I've highlighted the 3 scenarios that I would call the main business scenarios, which are order to cash, make to stock, and procure to pay. As an example, you see the processes that are part of the order to cash scenario, illustrated by the green chevrons. It covers all steps from generating sales demand, from customers to shipping the goods to the customer, and it also includes invoicing and the payment process. You can see that some of the steps are marked with a purple triangle, like processing receivables and payments, processing outbound deliveries, or creating customer invoices. This means that these steps have relevance to finance and will lead to the corresponding accounting documents. You can also see that other business scenarios like customer returns or marketing to opportunity are linked to the order to cash process. The customer returns scenario, for example, starts with returning goods based on an outbound delivery that was created in the order to cash process. The second main scenario is the make to stock, which deals with manufacturing products to replenish inventory or to fulfill a specific sales order. Last, we have the procure to pay, taking care about buying products from your vendor. To run your business, you normally need several supporting scenarios. Demand planning, for example, will help you to forecast your future demand, so that production and procurement processes can already be triggered well in advance. With materials in projects, we offer a solution that connects demand of inventory managed goods from your projects with your supply chain. Physical inventory management will help you synchronize the current stock levels with your system records. Just to mention a few supporting scenarios. You will learn a lot more about these and all other relevant scenarios in the upcoming weeks. Another way of looking at the solution scope of SAP Business by Design is from a functional perspective. Normally, a specific function is involved in multiple different business scenarios. For example, you will need the same warehouse management function goods issue in a normal order to cash scenario, as well as in the supplier return management. The functional blocks are also often closely related to the organizational units of a company. In blue, I highlighted the building blocks that are dedicated only to supply chain management related scenarios, like production, warehouse management, and so forth. In contrast, the orange building blocks are also relevant for other scenarios. Sales functions, for example, are of course also needed when doing a pure service business. Let us have a closer look at some of the functional blocks. Sales and service covers the customer-facing functions like order taking and invoicing. In supply chain design, you find functions to model the flow of goods to your customer between your locations or within your warehouse and production locations. The goal of supply planning and control is to come up with an executable plan on what quantities to produce and to procure when to fulfill the customer demand. Inventory valuation and product costing builds the bridge between quantities and the monetary world. And in finance, all supply chain transactions are recorded that have impact on profitability and the balance sheet. Let us now bring both the scenarios and functional view together. Taking the procure-to-pay business scenario as an example, you see that you can map the process steps to the individual functional building blocks. To fulfill the complete scenario, functions from supply planning and control, purchasing, warehouse management, quality assurance, and finance are needed. In this course, we will mainly walk along the various business scenarios and highlight those functional aspects relevant for the respective scenarios. In addition, we will do deep dives for certain functions like available to promise, which is part of sales, and have a closer look at supporting concepts like serial number management or identified stock management. Now, where can you find the solution scope in the system? Let's have a look. In the Workcenter business configuration, we have the view Implementation Projects. Let's edit the project scope. In the first step of the guided activity, you can select the countries which are available in Business by Design. Let me skip the next step and directly navigate to the scoping. On the left-hand side, you can find a hierarchy of scoping elements. They are grouped by functions, so you see scoping elements for sales, for service, for purchasing, and so forth. And of course, you also see the supply chain related scoping elements for supply chain planning and control, manufacturing, and so forth. Let's have a look at the supply chain setup management. I expand the hierarchy and now look at the execution design. You see, there is only the third-party logistics scoping element which I can deselect. But why can't I deselect the warehouse and production layout? Let's have a look at the dependencies of this scoping element. You see that this warehouse and production layout scoping element was switched on automatically because, for example, we have selected production. Of course, it doesn't make sense to produce but not take care about the production layout. By these dependencies, the system ensures that you can only consistently select a scope, and thus our business scenarios end-to-end run smoothly. Let me return to the slides. Besides the scenario and functional scope, let me show you some of the solution principles we follow when designing the solution. First, we want to consider the complete multi-level supply chain of a multi-company business in one tenant. Nowadays, even mid-size enterprises have multiple companies in various countries. With that, you have a high visibility of the complete demand and supply situation across all locations. It is also very easy to model intercompany business by using the out-of-the-box intercompany integration. This even works across tenants using B2B integrations. As already mentioned before, we have a tight integration into the value chain. This allows you to have real-time cost transparency, up-to-date inventory values, and every relevant supply chain activity is directly visible in financials. Another aspect is work efficiency. In the open SAP course on Business by Design Financials, you have already learned that work is pushed to the user. In supply chain management, we offer a concept to automatically distribute work to the shop floor and the warehouse workers, supported by a uniform task execution process. Process automation is also key in a high-volume business. Therefore, we offer a broad set of mass data runs, like for demand planning, material requirements planning, or to release business documents automatically to the next processing step. Furthermore, we will find exception-based planning and execution monitoring capabilities. Finally, the solution helps you to leverage the ecosystem. There are other parties involved like shipping service or warehouse providers, and here we offer out-of-the-box integration. You can also use multiple interfaces to other solutions like web services that help you to integrate to external solutions like an e-shop or a CAD system. You can also adapt the solution in various ways. One is by using the Cloud Application Studio. This is a built-in software development kit. You can also use SAP's Cloud Platform to create side-by-side applications that can integrate with SAP Business by Design. Examples could be an Internet of Things application that collects data and triggers field service requests in the system. Our partner ecosystem can help you to leverage these adaptation capabilities. Now let us summarize Unit 2 of Week 1. You got an overview of the business scenarios and the functional scope SAP Business by Design covers for supply chain management related businesses. I also showed you how you can easily change the solution scope in a consistent way. Finally, I've highlighted the solution principles we follow. See you in the next unit.